Hello and welcome to Susie B. Living's Gardening by the Moon series. I apologise that I am a day late bringing this out, but don't worry because today was an unfavourable day. So there was nothing to sow today. That was important. So I just want to talk to you about the rest of the week. I'm going to give you the phases for the rest of the week. I am not doing any sowing this week. In fact, I'm not going to be doing any sowing until about the 13th and the 14th of May, and that is because I'm up to date with everything. But I'll give you ideas of what you can be sowing this week, or you've probably got your own ideas. So let's start. Tuesday and Wednesday morning on this week, so Tuesday the 7th and Wednesday the 8th a.m. are both fruits days. So for fruits, there's quite a bit that you can actually sow for fruits. And I'm thinking, the first thing that I'm thinking about is beans. So I don't know whether you have sown any climbing French beans yet. Hold off. If you have sown your runner beans, fine. If you haven't sown your runner beans, then just hold off until later on in the month. It's because they grow really, really fast and you're going to be hanging on to them for quite a while still until you'll be able to put them out. So don't worry, you will still get a really good crop of runner beans. So, you know, but if you've done them, fine. Okay, so French beans, French climbing beans in particular. There's one particular variety that I like and it's called Cobra. That's the green variety that I grow. There's also a golden variety called Necker Gold, which is a wonderful variety. And I also do a purple, which is Cosa Violette. And they're all good to go in now. You can also sow your dwarf beans if you want to, French beans. So the two that I particularly like are Amethyst, which is a purple variety, and Sprite. That's the other variety as well. If you haven't sown your winter squash, get those in as soon as possible. I'm only doing Crown Prince. My two small ones, I'm doing a Jack Be Little and Sweet Dumpling. And then I've got a big one. I'm going to do the Queensland Blue and Delica as well. So get those in. It's a little bit late now to be planting melons, but you still can, because if you're going to grow them under cover, you know, you should be okay. So that you can do those. The other thing is also sweet corn. I am going to be doing another sowing of sweet corn middle of the month, later on in the month as well. And so you can wait if you want to. And the other thing is tomatoes. So if you haven't sown your tomatoes, don't worry, you can still sow tomatoes. The ones I like are San Marzano, Tigarella and Sun Gold I grow outside, but I mean, you know, you just have to deal with blight when it comes. And yeah, they're the ones, and honeycomb is the other one. So also it's still okay to sow some cucumbers. I've got some cucumbers just come up now. I've got some other cucumbers, my little mini munchy ones, the baby ones that are already quite large. But I've got another lot coming up and they are Pachysandra mainly. And that is, and also courgettes. You can sow your courgettes as well. So let's talk about transplanting. Peppers, chilies as well. Any cucumbers you want to transplant. You can put them in the greenhouse now if you want to, because nighttime temperatures are getting much better. The only thing is they might sulk a little bit. I'm hanging on to mine still. I haven't put mine out yet. Tomatoes, they can go in the greenhouse as well. I wouldn't be putting them outside. It's a little bit early for that. What else? Courgettes a little bit early for outside, but they are doing well in my greenhouse. I'm just trying to think of what else. That's it for transplanting. Now, weeding and maintenance. So keep an eye on all your fruit because your soft fruit is going to be forming. Gooseberries are going to be forming. My josta berries are forming. I also have apricots on my tree, and I've got peaches and nectarines on my trees. So make sure if your trees are not in the ground, and those kind of tender trees like peaches and nectarines kind of shouldn't be in the ground. I'd be surprised if you got a harvest unless it was in a really sheltered area. Make sure that you keep the water up to them in the pots, okay? Keep watering all the time. When they've got fruit on, it's really important that they stay watered. The other thing that I'm checking daily is every fruits day is my peas that I've got in the garden, and also the peas. We're already harvesting peas from the ones that are overwintered, and broad beans I'm harvesting from the ones that are overwintered. The ones on the allotment look great as well, but I had to put a net on them because the pigeons were eating them. And then feeding and watering peppers and tomatoes mainly. Cucumbers a little bit as well. I give them just a multi-purpose Miracle Grow feed. So that's those. So that is up to Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, the 8th of May, Thursday the 9th, Friday the 10th are all roots days on the moon phase calendar. Again, I am not sowing anything until later on in the month because I am up to date. But let's look at what you can be sowing. You can be putting potatoes in the ground, and it really doesn't matter whether they're main crop potatoes or second early potatoes or first early potatoes, because it makes no difference when they go in the ground. It's just when they're ready. So you can put all your potatoes in the ground or in pots or in bags. I harvested my first lot of first earlies today, but they went into pots. Remember, I do them in my little small pots. They went into pots in February. So that's potatoes. Carrots, you can sow carrots direct. I will be sowing towards the end of the month. I'm going to be sowing my winter cropping carrots. So you can put in summer carrots if you want to as well. You can put them in direct, you can put them into pots, you can put them into troughs. They're really great. Beetroot, that's the other thing that you can also, if you want main crop beetroot, my main crop beetroot is not going in until the beginning of June because I've already got beetroot growing in the greenhouse and also here at home. But you can sow some beetroot. Also parsnips. You can sow parsnips in June, so parsnips is fine to sow as well. But I do recommend that you sow parsnips in the ground because they've got a very long root. All right, transplanting. I need to prick out some celeriac, so I'll be doing that. My little oca tubers need to be, potted on. And also I'm very slowly planting out my main crop onions. So I'm still going with those. So that's transplanting. Weeding and maintenance. So I've got onions and shallots over at the allotment that I need to look at. I noticed that in that bed, there were some potatoes coming up, which were a little rogue because I haven't grown potatoes there for 2 years. But once you've got a potato in, they keep coming back. I've just checked my beetroot. I've checked it over on the allotment. I just need to check it here at home. Leeks as well. I've got some leeks still that I need to harvest. Carrots, my overwintered carrots are looking really good. I've got them in a trough in the greenhouse. And have another look at my garlic and see what's going on with that. I think I might give it another feed. Garlic, actually all alliums are really hungry. They love feeding all the time. So that's that. And then feeding, nothing to feed. So that is up to Friday, and then Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th of May are both flowers days. So again, I am not sowing anything until later on in the month for flowers. I think if you want to sow things like calabres, that's fine to sow now. If you want a cauliflower, just hold off until later on in the month, and then it's better growing conditions for cauliflowers. Transplanting. And also just remember you can do all your ornamentals. So you can direct sow annuals. You can direct sow any kind of edible flower as well. You can put in your, I'm not sure whether I'd be putting my dahlias out yet. I might just hang on to those. Gladioli, you can plant those direct as well. All of that kind of stuff. Put your sweet peas, they can go out. If you've got sweet peas, they can go into the garden now, or into a pot if you're going to grow them up a tripod. And I need to just have a look at my graffiti cauliflowers. I pricked out a few last time and I might prick out a few more graffiti cauliflowers. And then weeding and maintenance, just anything that's flowering in the garden, have a good look at it. You can start cutting back spring flowering shrubs. So, you know, all that kind of stuff as well. Check if you did have any dahlia tubers in the ground, just check whether they might be sprouting or they might be mush, rotted. But, you know, that's what Flowers Days are for. They're for going and having a look at anything that's flowering in the garden, checking around the base of it, make sure it's been weeded. And by the way, I want to show you this. This is my first rose for the year. It's called Blue Moon and it is gorgeous. It's a very, very old-fashioned variety and it smells fantastic. So that's that. So yeah, that's your week. All done. And that then takes us to Sunday, the 12th of May. So again, sorry and for being late, but better late than never. And I will then see you now on Sunday night, but I'll see you on Saturday for my vlog. I didn't do a vlog last week because instead I brought out my video about what I am sowing in May. And I explain at the beginning of the video that I'm not sowing anything until later on in May. May for me is a little bit more of an easier month when it comes to sowing because I am up to date with everything. But it doesn't have to be for you. You can be sowing away. All right, thanks. Thanks for joining me. My name's Susie B from Susie B Living, and I will see you all later. Bye.